What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is 6/18 of 2020. It's almost 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Almost Friday, but not quite there. Nice, finally got alive. What's up, Adamar? Just to let everybody know, I am about to get some teeth pulled. I've got a couple wisdom teeth that are getting pulled tomorrow. So I doubt I'm going to be on the interwebs doing live videos. So yeah, there's some stuff going on, but today I really just kind of wanted to share a bit of an idea or a couple of ideas and share a little information with everybody. Just so you guys know also, welcome Big Sky Crypto. Glad you found it. I get a lot of people asking me, Crow, when are you going to talk about gochain? What's going on with gochain? And I just reached out to them, letting them know, like, hey, what's going on? What's the latest? Last I talked to you guys, I talked to Jason Decker, who, I know they have a new CEO now. There's a lot of big changes going on over there, but I'm not privy to any of it anymore. And I want to know what's happening. So I sent an email to their, director of marketing or what have you, and I'll be waiting for a response. And once I have an idea as to what's going on, I'll definitely share it. So I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. Crow, have you checked out? No, I have not. Playing Ancestor on PS4 and listening to Crow, good times. I've never heard of that game. I've been playing The Hunter, Call of the Wild. I'm not a hunter at all. I actually hate it. But PlayStation had this big deal, or so many different games were like 70% off. So I bought a couple of them. I bought like a Lego game. I got like just different stuff because I play it late at night. And just to help me wind down and go to sleep. My tooth is throbbing, just so you know. Like, I didn't even want to do a video today. That's why I didn't do a video yesterday. But I'm like, I cannot go 2 days and not do a video. gochain fell into a coma. The thing of it is they've been active. They have a lot of stuff going on. They're just not doing a very good job of letting people know, including me. So we'll find out what happens. Looking at Bitcoin right now, I think we're still working our way down this E-wave. And I was watching, was it Alessio Rustani? I think that's his name. I'd have to check. I can't remember. But anyway, he gives some pretty decent trading information. And he was talking about this indicator and how, I don't even remember what it's called. AMA, ADX, the ADX indicator. And I still use Market Cipher, don't get me wrong. But the way the market is right now, I'm not actively trading anything. So if I'm not actively trading, I'm not utilizing Market Cipher as often, especially on these larger time frames like the day chart or the weekly. But on a daily chart, I've got this Elliott wave mapped out, and I've got a bunch of different stuff going on. And I think we're heading further down during this E wave. I just do. And originally, a while back, I said, I don't expect anything to turn around until we've hit at least 8,800. Now we've wicked down to 88.86. So we kind of pseudo hit that mark, but I still I don't think we're necessarily over that. And if I look at Market Cipher, from what I'm seeing here, it looks like you can't even see it. So if I'm looking at these, the double blue wave trigger, we've got one, we've got two. This is perfect for an uptrend. So we could be moving up from here. We'll see what happens. But if I were trading, I would be probably longing right now, but I just haven't. And the reason is because it's so choppy. And when this ADX indicator, Alessio had pointed out, when this is under the 20 line, this is basically it's almost like no trade territory because it's so choppy up and down. There's no real trend that the price is following. There's no real predictability as to what's happening or what any of it means. And so I figure, you know what? He's probably right. But this whole thing here is just, it's consolidation to a big degree, but this goes into the question, like, who's actually controlling the market? And so, I found this article. The Bitcoin market is totally dominated by a tiny number of pro traders. And I was reading through this and I'm like, I absolutely believe this. I mean, basically saying, so the Bitcoin price up some 30% since the beginning of the year has faltered recently, but many Bitcoin bulls expect it to continue climbing with trading volumes rising during the coronavirus crisis. I'm going to bring this microphone a little closer. Now it's been revealed professional traders are firmly in control of Bitcoin market liquidity, accounting for 85% of all US dollar value of Bitcoin sent to exchanges, with most Bitcoin buyers treating it as digital gold for the long term. Now, you're going to see a lot of different reports all over the internet talking about how, institutional investments are, like 13% of institutions are into Bitcoin. It might even be more than that. It might have been like 32%. And I think like 11% are into Ethereum and so forth and so on. And, for those of you that don't really understand what's happening right now, when you're looking at the market, you're looking at people accumulating. You're looking at people accumulating, driving up interest, and then you're looking at some of these major players who hold a significant amount of Bitcoin, basically trading against them. And so when there are FOMO articles or there's some sort of FUD, a lot of these guys who are really controlling the market price action right now they're trading against that, and they're making a lot of money doing it. And there's another note recently about Donald Trump, this guy that he fired writing this big hate book about how Donald Trump zeroed in on Bitcoin and has done all kinds of stuff to try and stop it. Donald coming out in tweets basically saying this guy's a moron. Like his whole book is basically a bunch of lies and made up stories. Now, Donald has come out publicly on Twitter basically saying, I don't like Bitcoin. People use it for bad stuff. Well, he's the president of the United States and ultimately the leader of the free world. We want the US dollar to be paramount over all other currencies. We're just doing a horrible job at maintaining that. And I think when it comes to our government at this point is just so old school. We just need a complete regime change, in my opinion. I mean, we need some new blood, some smart people. But smart people who really care about the public, not just people who have been lifelong politicians, lifelong crooks, doing whatever they want to do to fatten their pockets and further their careers at the expense of the public to put them there. The entire system today honestly does make me sick to the core. And but the thing of it is you have to play by their rules. I mean, as individuals, I see a lot of people trying to take stands against this and stands against that. Well, at your own peril, because, the reality is like I've said in previous videos, there's a right and wrong way to go about challenging the tyranny that I believe that we currently live in. And, I just don't see that changing anything. I don't see anything happening anytime soon. And a part of that rebellion, obviously, is the interest in cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, utilizing these cryptocurrencies for the better of the people, getting rid of this deflationary or inflationary system and replacing it with a deflationary system. Being able to if you put money in your bank right now, the devaluation of that value or that currency sitting in the bank is not going to grow. If anything, you could be at a deficit over a long period of time. You could have less value because of the way the dollar is being devalued. The opposite is true for Bitcoin. And so that's what's driving a lot of the interest in Bitcoin is these long-term investors. Now, what some people don't seem to understand is during this accumulation phase, we're seeing, let's put it this way. When we're looking at market value and we're looking at price action, what's happening is we've got the typical supply versus demand. How many people are wanting to buy and accumulate over how many people are willing to sell it? And ultimately, that's dictated by the number of people who are not actively hodling. The more people we have holding an asset long term and not making it available on the market, the quicker the price goes up as more people want it. So let's just say all 21 million Bitcoin or all of any asset were freely available all over the world. Okay. But let's just use Bitcoin as an example. Let's just say 20 million Bitcoin were locked up in people's wallets who've been holding long term, and the entire world is only trading 1 million Bitcoin. Well, if there are 5 million people wanting to buy that Bitcoin and there are only 1 million available or being actively traded, that means that there's a much greater demand than there is supply, which is going to push the price up on that million Bitcoin, right? Wrong. The demand is going to push up the price value of that million Bitcoin and everything else being held. So that's why this buy and hold mentality is much stronger than people actively wanting to trade anything, especially in these choppier markets. And there are more people now. Records have been broken in terms of the number of people holding digital assets long term over even a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Those holding numbers just continue to grow and get larger over time, which means as demand continues to increase as we move further into this bull market, the value of these assets are going to rise much quicker than they likely did in 2016, 2017, 2018. You see where I'm going with this? Because people are getting more and more educated about what's coming and what's happening and what blockchain technology is and what it means and how it stands to change the world. So people are buying into projects that they appreciate fundamentally, and they're locking them away. And they're saying, you know what? If it does well, great. I'll make a lot of money. If it doesn't, I didn't invest more than I could afford to lose. It's a risky investment. Cryptocurrency is risky. Another note that I wanted to make is when it comes to leverage trading, I'm cool with promoting it at this point because I believe, anybody that trades, period, if you're buying and selling any asset, it's already an insane risk. I mean, trading cryptocurrency in general is insanely risky. Anything can happen in the market. And a part of that risk is, to offset some of that risk, obviously a part of your risk management is your own self-education. And, leverage trading is a very valuable tool, but it wrecks a lot of people. There's no questions about it. Leverage trading is so dangerous. I do not encourage anybody, whether you're in the US or not, I do not encourage anybody who's new to derivatives or options or any of that kind of stuff to get into leverage trading. You're going to lose all your money. Like, there's just no question about it. You're going to make so many stupid mistakes and you're going to lose what you put up. Okay. And so, but at the same time, I believe in freedom of choice. Everybody has a choice to do what they want. If you want to get into something more risky than the already risky crypto market and roll the dice and take the chance that you know what you're doing or that, your big gut instinct is going to pay off, everybody has the right to do that. People, millions and millions of people have the right to go out and shell out so much money on lottery tickets at the local cashier or your local convenience store, and ultimately you're just giving that money away. The likelihood that you're going to win anything at all is very, very, very slim. The numbers are automatically stacked against you and already predetermined, and people throw their money at that stuff all day. So if somebody wants the option to make a decision and have a chance at doing better, or maybe making a really solid trade, making some profit, okay, fine. As long as you completely and fully understand the risks associated with what you're getting involved with, and as long as you're an educated adult, to each their own. Have your fun. My words does not make sense. Well, explain to me how that's the case, and I'll be more than happy to explain things further. So anyway, we know that in reading this article, the Bitcoin market is totally dominated by a tiny number of pro traders. So that, in essence, is a part of the reason why the markets are so volatile as it is, because very few people control so much more. Now, this is the big question. Security token exchanges may be the next phase in the finance evolution. I've said this now for over 2 years, that this was going to be the next phase, that ICOs are going to get phased out, and that it's going to be all about security token operations from there. Because even with the SEC coming out and saying, they're working on a way, they're looking at ideas associated with, look, if you run an ICO, you've got 2 years to make good on your promises in that ICO, or we come after you. And if you do make good, we'll leave you alone. Plain and simple. Makes sense to me. Leverage trading is basically gambling on the over-under. I don't know if I would say that exactly, but close. I sold my 1 Bitcoin for Cardano. I think I made a better investment. To each their own. I've done it too. So, we'll see how that turns out. I think Cardano is going to do very well. Yo, Crow, going to be on the Discovery documentary for Dragon? Yes, I'm in that. I've actually seen myself on TikTok a few times now from little clips from that docuseries. Security token exchanges could prove to be an option for companies that are seeking public funding but can't partake in the current IPO process. In 1996, there were over 8,000 public companies listed on exchanges in the United States. Fast forward to 2020, and there are only approximately 4,400. A drop of 46%, despite the fact that the S&P 500 quadrupled in value. Wonder how that happened. Conventional wisdom would lead readers to think that they are looking at a misprint. This paradox has led to efforts from both the public and private sectors to help jumpstart initial public offerings. Unfortunately, legislation like the Jumpstart Our Business Startups Act, or JOBS, has not had the desired impact, and companies have instead elected to stay private longer than they once did. While we could chalk this up to capital being freely available via private equity and venture funds, the simple fact is that for smaller companies, the benefits do not currently outweigh the burden and expense of going public, because it costs you like $1 million. For a company to go public with a traditional stock or a traditional IPO stock offering, it costs you almost like at least $1 million, and you have to already have reached a certain point of profitability before you'll even get that far. For the most part, unless you've legitimately got the funds to really push it. Is it time to consider the benefits of security token exchanges? So, and why am I even reading this? Because honestly, when I was working on Crow's Nest and I was really thinking, you know what, I want to have an exchange. I want an exchange that's transparent. We grow organically over time. We do things the way I felt would be the proper way. Between the regulation uncertainty, not knowing really, I don't believe anybody really has a clue at this point. What's a security, what's not? I really don't. I think it's all vague for a reason. And I think that it's all up in the air to give lawyers something to argue about in court so that they make the money. I mean, I really do. I think that so much of this stuff is such a game. It's a legal game of who has the funds to fight the system, and who can afford the best lawyers to propose the best arguments, and it's like it all just feels so dirty to me on so many levels. But that's just the way things are, and I just didn't like it. I don't like it, and I don't. There are a lot of reasons. I mean, the group that we had working on this and developing it, I just lost confidence in. After working on it for over a year, something that was supposed to be up and ready in a matter of like a few months, just so many issues. And I'm like, you know what? I don't feel comfortable with any of this from the ground up. I do not, and I just didn't feel good about it. So I pulled the plug. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. And it just felt like liability city all over the place. And I was I was like, there's no way. There's no way I'm launching this. To me, it felt like trying to launch a Honda Civic from 1980 in a Ferrari drag race. Anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry. However, if I ever did, which I doubt I'm ever going to, but if I ever did try to launch another exchange, I would do so differently with a completely different group. It would be a security token exchange because I believe that the security token exchanges are going to be the new thing. It's going to be the new, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of these pop up. I really do. And the thing of it is that these are going to be highly regulated. And the way that they're going to work, I'm going to assume, is you're not going to get access to these exchanges without a complete AML KYC and likely accredited investor status. And so you might even have to pay a fee to get access to some of these security token exchanges. That's just my guess. But because the cost associated with verifying who you are, your investment status, all of that stuff, it costs money. And so you might have to pay $50 or $100 or whatever just to cover those upfront expenses on verifying that you are who you say you are, and you can legally participate in any of these STOs and so forth and so on. Which is a good thing to a certain extent because, it will very much help security. But new token exchanges would comply with traditional regulated public exchange processes, but have the benefits of the computer programmability features of smart contracts. Compliance processes, of which there are many. Ownership restrictions, contractual terms, and conditions would be automatically implemented and embedded via a distributed network of computers that maintain a shared source of immutable information. Issuers' choice for going public is limited in the United States. In Canada and Europe, there are options, namely the TSX Venture Exchange and the AIM market, respectively, for small to mid-sized companies to access public markets. Currently, there is no U.S. venture market equivalent. Go figure. In the U.S., if a company is considering public routes for capital raising and attracting new investors, their options are limited to traditional IPOs, which are expensive, requires outside expertise, risk of poor trading quality. Over-the-counter markets, limited number of institutional investors, negative public opinion, non-compliance with U.S. accounting standards, low liquidity, and price discovery. Or crypto exchange ICOs. Negative investor and regulatory sentiment from the 2018 crash, which I'm not too concerned with there. Few investors and little in the way of corporate governance and investor protection doctrine. Alternative trading systems, regulation, A offering, which is like super difficult. Regulated, but only reaches a fraction of the investor pool that companies would otherwise have access to within a traditional listing. All of these options need improvement one way or another. However, regulated security token exchanges have the potential to improve on all the current incumbent options and offer price discovery, corporate governance, and investor protection. In addition, security token exchanges can also offer a less complex path to an IPO. These are the central functions that regulated exchanges do well for large cap issuers. Furthermore, a security token exchange is not limited to just accredited and institutional investors, but is open to all participants. Now, this is new to me. I didn't know this, and I'm not even sure how that's possible, thereby providing issuers exposure to a greater number of variety of investors. So overall, I think that security token exchanges are going to be the wave of the future. But we'll have to see. Let's see. Cool. I caught Crow live for a change. What's up, Dylan's World? Polymath is pushing to be a giant in the STO market. With Charles Hoskinson's help, they could pull it off. Yeah, Polymath is doing stuff. T0 is another one. I know T0 is who has been working with the Atari token, or coin, I think they're calling it. So yeah, I'm curious. I know those are two of the big players, T0 and Polymath. Wonder if Crow is going to get in on the equity stake being offered in Celsius Network. That news is coming. I am working some things out with them, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I wouldn't mind it, but I am planning on doing a video about a lot of that stuff coming soon. It'll likely be next week, but we'll see how that all pans out. You know, tomorrow is Friday, which means it's the start of the weekend, sort of. And I don't even know if they're gonna like knock me out to pull these teeth. These wisdom teeth, man, are just killing me. I mean, absolutely killing me. So I like my tooth is throbbing the more I talk right now. So I just wanted to come on and say hello and just share some thoughts. Look, guys, I think we're ultimately heading in the right direction. I think the altcoin market is heading in the right direction. We're seeing a lot of activity, but I still think Bitcoin's going to go down a little bit. And, if you are, I'm running Crow Trader bot. Things are going well. I will say not yesterday's video, the day before, my last video, Cardano could change name to Postpone Coin. That's silly because it's like crushing it right now. So you're like trying to regurgitate old FUD. It doesn't even apply anymore. Sorry. You're late. You're late with the FUD, Fudster. This contest ends July 16th. So if you're currently using Crow Trader and you want a chance to win $500 in Bitcoin, get to back testing, get to paper trading, check out that stuff and see what kind of strategies you can discover that are profitable with different pairs, and share those in the comments of not this video, but the video from a couple days ago, and let the public vote on which are the best. The best one, the best strategy the best strategy is going to win $500 in Bitcoin. And if you don't have Crow Trader yet, you can get it now at 30% off using this code. Save 30% using promo code 30A. And that's it. So, check it out, have some fun with it. Maybe you can win. And that's about all. Just joking. Haha, don't be mad. Where's your sense of humor? Oh, haha, so funny. My tooth is throbbing. There's definitely some stuff going on. There's some stuff coming, and I've got some videos kind of planned in the works, but those are going to be next week. What's your opinion on Trump's purported comment to Mnuchin to go after Bitcoin? Who knows? They already did. I mean, they basically, between the futures market, the futures market definitely played a role in like kind of pushing things down, or did it? That's the question. You can try, but it's, I don't see that, did it play a role into how fast the market crashed? Possibly. But at the same time, every other asset out there, they have all the same investment instruments that Bitcoin is gaining. And, the same things happen in the market. But I also believe that, if the majority of Bitcoin is being held and controlled by power players throughout the world, it's going to be difficult to keep them down, right? Because they can ultimately, if they can control the market, then, I didn't even notice that. That touched right on there. Oh, that's interesting. This is on a daily chart. So that we touched on that and kind of went back up. So we'll see how this transpires, but I still think we're going to come down below it. I think this weekend, one of two things might happen this weekend. Either A, we're going to come down and we're going to see some serious pullback. Listen to me. I'm about to say we're either going to come down or we're going to see some serious pullback, or it's going to break through this and start really buzzing. In other words, it's either going to go up or down this weekend. Folks, I'm an idiot. But that's honestly, that's the thing. Anything could happen right now. And with everything being so choppy during this period, there's no sense to what's happening. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm not even going to... Really going to have to look that up. Crow Trader is the best. I really love my Crow Trader bot. It's still... Crow Trader, to me, is still not the best bot on the market. It's not. I'm not going to bullshit you. It's not the best bot on the market, but it's a pretty badass bot. And when and the only reason I say that is because there's still currently no DCA features, which for whatever reason, I've not been able to convince the developer and the other partners in the bot to put it in there, which to me is mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. And the arguments against putting it in are absolutely stupid, in my opinion, just flat out stupid. Oh, the DCA just helps people acquire more bags than they started with. And it's like, duh, you're averaging your price down so you can get out of the original bag faster at profit. I don't know. Some people don't make much sense, but I'm still fighting. Because I believe that in order for that bot to be 100%, we need to be able to trading view signals, and we need DCA functionality. Without those two things, I think the bot the bot is priced, especially with this 30% coupon code, the bot is priced extremely fairly for what it offers and what it's capable of right now. So, but use it at your own risk. I mean, there's still bugs. There are still little things that pop up, little things that people don't understand. They come into the Telegram community, they get support there. The community is great, but my tooth is throbbing, guys. I've got to get off. I need to go pop some ibuprofen and just chill out. But I did want to come on board or come online and say hello to everybody and just kind of talk for a little while, let you know I'm still here. So, I may or may not do a video later tomorrow evening, but we'll see. You remind me of Negan from The Walking Dead, bro. You know what? I heard that so many times. I've heard that so many times. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind being Negan in Walking Dead. How about throwing me on there as an adversary to Negan? I could have some fun with that. I'm actually a pretty good actor, believe it or not. I think I could do pretty well with a legit role. I DCA'd ADA down to 0.06 from 30 cents. Ava, you're probably doing pretty well right now then. That's a beautiful thing. So, all right, guys, take care of yourselves. Have fun. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a really good weekend. Trade safe, trade responsibly, continue to educate yourself. Don't invest what you can't afford to lose. Things are crazy right now. Things are absolutely crazy, but I think that this may be the good kind of crazy that we need before things really start taking off. So a lot of these altcoin projects are doing well. I'm going to be doing some recaps on a lot of these altcoins here very soon. And until then, I'll see you soon. Grow your coins, folks. Thanks for joining me.